talking on the topic male reproductive system. Okay, so male reproductive system, it is located, first of all, it is located in the pelvis region. Okay, one of the most important thing to be remembered that it is located in the pelvis region. Okay, now second thing, we'll be talking about the primary sex organs under male reproductive system, which is the primary sex organ. So, which is the primary sex organ? It is testis. Okay, the testis is the primary sex organ. Okay, now this testis holds two important functions. Okay, it holds two important functions. The first one is the production of sperm, and the second one is the secretion of male sex hormone. Okay, so the production of sperm and the secretion of male sex hormone are the two important functions of the testis. Okay, now second, we will be talking about the accessory ducts which are going to help these primary sex organs, and which will assist the function of these primary sex organs, and it will reach the sperms into the female genitalia. Okay, so accessory ducts assist the function of the primary sex organs. It includes retri testis, vasa afferentia, vasa deferentia, epididymis. Okay, now the third one is the accessory sex organs. It includes accessory glands also. Accessory glands. Okay, which further accessory sex organ, accessory glands both assist in the function of the testis. Okay, primary sex organ. These are also known as secondary sex organs or the helping sex organs. Okay, now secondary sex organs, the glands under this, glands are also included. Those are seminal vesicle, Cowper's gland, which is also known as bulbourethral gland, and prostate gland. Okay, now slowly we will be teaching into all of these terms. Okay, now let's talk about testis. Okay, let's talk about testis. Now testis is soft, smooth, soft, pinkish, oval. Okay, oval, it is important. Why? It is not spherical. Okay, remember that it is not spherical, it is oval in structure. Okay, now it weighs 10 to 12 gram. Okay, now the third thing is that it is 4 to 5 centimeter in length, 2 to 3 centimeter in width, 2 to 3 centimeter in width, and 2.4 to 2.5 centimeter in thickness. Okay, the third part is that it is extra abdominal. That means it lies outside the abdomen. Okay, now see. Where does it lies? This is scrotum. Okay. This testis lies in this loose fold of skin, pouch-like loose fold of skin which arises from the lower abdominal wall, and this particularly, this hangs between the legs. How should I show you? This particularly hangs between the legs. Okay, this particularly hangs between the legs. So see, what happens? The testis lies here. The two testes, a pair of testes, okay, the two number, they are two in number, so they lies in their respective scrotal sac. Now this scrotal sac, okay, this is lined by a smooth muscle which is known as dortus tunic. Okay, it is lined by a smooth muscle known as dortus tunic, which will be assisting it in the regulating the temperature further. Okay, we will study. Now this scrotal sac is internally divided with the help of a muscular partition known as septum scorti. Okay, septum scorti internally. It divides internally, septum scorti. This is a muscular partition which divides the scrotum into their respective right and left scrotal sac, and externally a scar-like reef marks the partition of these two scrotal sac. Reef. Okay. Now, what happens that there is a cavity here. Okay. There is a cavity here. Okay. And this cavity is filled with a tissue called hydrocele. This cavity is filled with a tissue called hydrocele. Okay, it is filled with a tissue called hydrocele. Now, what happens during the embryonic development? What happens that the testis is there in the it develops in the abdomen only, but in the 7th month, what happens? The 7th month of the development, it descends into their respective scrotal sac with the help of inguinal canal. Okay, through inguinal canal. With the help of through inguinal canal. Okay, see, this is inguinal canal. Here is the abdomen, suppose. Okay, so here is the abdomen. Through abdomen, the testis and the abdomen is connected to with each other through the inguinal canal. So in the 7th month of the development, it descends into their respective scrotal sacs. Okay, with the help of inguinal canal. Now there is a disorder. What happens? There is a disorder during the descending. Okay, what happens that this inguinal canal, sometimes what happens that this inguinal canal remains open. Okay, and a loop of intestine may enter into the scrotum. So this disorder is called inguinal hernia. Okay, it is related to this. That's why I am telling you, inguinal hernia. Okay, and one more disorder is there, which I will be talking here, is that sometimes what happens, there is a failure of testis to descend into the respective scrotal sac. Sometimes what happens that one or both the testes fails to descend into their respective scrotal sac. Okay, so at that disorder is known as cryptorchidism. Okay, so what happens in this case, that the testis remains in the abdomen, and so it remains in the abdomen. So what will happen if it remains in the abdomen? Why the testis is needed to be descended down in the scrotal sacs? There is a reason, and that is very important to know, because what happens that, see, what happens that sperms during maturation, it needs the temperature 2 to 3 degree lesser than the body temperature. Okay, so what happens that if it will be there in the abdomen, then the spermatogenesis will not occur, and if spermatogenesis will not occur, then it will lead to sterility. This only happens in the cryptorchidism. What happens that when the testis fails to descend into the scrotal sac, therefore what happens, it remains in the abdomen. Okay, and sterility, and it therefore it leads to the sterility of that particular male. Okay, so what happens that it descends, this in this particular case scrotum acts as a thermoregulator. Okay, here scrotum acts as a thermoregulator. Okay, it maintains the body temperature. If the outside temperature is cool, it goes close to the body and then maintains the temperature, and if outside temperature is high, it becomes flaccid and enables the loss of heat. Okay, now how these last important thing here is that one of the how these two testes remains fixed here. Okay, so these two testes remains fixed here with with the help of a fibrous band. Okay, gubernaculum, known as gubernaculum. Okay, so these two testes is fixed here in their position with the help of gubernaculum and spermatic cords. Okay, and spermatic cords. Now let's go deep in the structure of the testis. Okay. Now the testis has three protective coverings. Okay, the testis has three protective coverings. Okay, the testis has three protective coverings. What are those? The innermost is tunica vasculosa. Okay, as the name suggests, vasculosa, vascular. Okay, the innermost layer, it consists of a network of capillaries and it is supported by the connective tissue. It is then lined by tunica albuginea. Okay, tunica albuginea. And then this tunica albuginea is further covered by the outermost layer, which is known as tunica tunica vaginalis. Okay, now see what happens here is that this testis, okay, this is a testis. Wait, let me try bigger. See, this is a testis. Okay, now this layer is tunica albuginea. Okay, this layer is tunica albuginea. Okay, now the layer covering this tunica albuginea is tunica vaginalis. I should have drawn this side. Okay, so this is tunica vaginalis. Now what happens that this tunica albuginea, okay, it undergoes infoldings. Okay, now when it undergoes infoldings like this, the testis, it undergoes infoldings. Okay, now when it undergoes infoldings, what happens, this creates the partition between these testes. When these partitions between the testes is known as septum. Okay, septa or septum, it is known as testicular septum. Okay, known as, these partitions are known as testicular septum, and due to this septum there are compartments. You can see that their compartments are formed. Okay, So these compartments are then further named as testicular lobules. Testicular lobules. Okay. Now each testis, each testicular lobules contains 1 to 3 highly coiled structure. Okay. See, like this. Okay, 1 to 3 highly coiled structure which is known as seminiferous tubule. What is it known as? It is known as seminiferous tubule. Okay, now what happens here is that, see, seminiferous tubules. Okay, so it is only the place where sperm formation of the sperm takes place. But now see here, each testis, okay, each testis has 250 such compartments. Okay, 250 such compartments, and each compartment consists of 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubule. Okay, you're getting? See, each testis contains 250 such compartments, and each compartment contains 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubules. What happens after this? That this this seminiferous tubule, it has one end it has only one opening. Okay, one towards the other end it is closed. Okay, so from this opening it forms a network. Okay, and this network is called rete testis. Okay, now from this network, this is called rete testis. From here arises 15 to 20. From here arises 15 to 20 ciliated tubules, which is called vasa efferentia. Okay, and from here arises, see, you have seen this, I am rubbing it for a while so that the structure will be clear to us. So from here will be arising, a large comma shaped structure which is 6 meter long, known as epididymis, which is 6 meter long, comma shaped, lined by stratified pseudo stratified epithelium, which bears the stereocilia, and this, the microvilli here, helps in the absorption of the sperm. Okay, from here further arises a duct of 40 centimeter long, which is known as vas deferens. We'll be talking in detail, okay, after this. Now, see what happens, that from here we have talked that this is corpus albuginea. It undergoes enfoldings and forms septa. These septa, due to the septa, compartments are formed, and these compartments are called testicular lobules. In each compartment is there 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubule, and this seminiferous tubule, here the sperms are produced, it is aided again further, it is transported further and further to the retrodestus. From retrodestus it is transported to the this vasa efferentia. Okay, this vasa efferentia is ciliated. Okay, it is ciliated duct, it means cilia are present. So why cilia will be present? To aid the transport of the sperms. So due to the presence of the cilia, the transport of the sperms easily takes place. And now after this, the transport of the sperms took place, and then the sperms comes to this epididymis. Okay. Now this epididymis, we will be talking about this seminiferous tubule. First, let us complete this epididymis. Okay. Now this epididymis has 3 parts. Okay. The upper one is head or capute epididymis. The middle one is the body or the corpus epididymis, and the last one or the tail one is the tail or chorda epididymis. Okay, what happens here is that this structure, okay, because it is actually 6 meter long. Okay, so what happens here, through their peristaltic and segmenting contractions, they help the sperms to reach here. Okay, to reach here, and from here also, from the same movement, it helps the sperms to ascend through the vasa deferens. Okay, now here what happens in epididymis has 2 main functions. Okay, here physiological maturation of sperm takes place. Okay, what happens here? Here physiological maturation of sperms takes place. Okay, and one more important thing is that it serves as a duct for the passage of sperms from testes to the vas deferens. Okay, now let's see the seminiferous tubules in detail. Okay, now let's see the seminiferous tubule. This is the seminiferous tubule in detail. So now when we will cut the section of the testis, we will see seminiferous tubules. Okay, what we will see? We will see seminiferous tubule. Okay, many seminiferous tubules. Now this seminiferous tubule, it is lined by a single layered germinal epithelium. By a single layer of germinal epithelium. Seminiferous tubule is lined by a single layer of germinal epithelium. Okay, it is lined by a single layer of germinal epithelium. Now this germinal epithelium, it consists of 2 types of cells. Okay, the first one is the cuboidal cell. Okay, see, this is the cuboidal cell. Okay, and elongated and pyramidal shaped cells. Okay, elongated and pyramidal shaped cells. Okay, so now the cuboidal cells are called germ cells. These cuboidal cells are called germ cells. Okay, and this gives rise to the sperms through meiosis. Okay, meiosis or reduction or division, it gives the haploid gamete, which is sperms. Okay, now the cells, this is known as germ cells, and the cuboidal cells are known as germ cells, and these pyramidal cells are known as Sertoli cells. Okay, Sertoli cells. It is also known as nerve cells. Okay, what is this function? Sertoli cells provides nourishment. It provides nourishment to the developing sperms. It provides nourishment, and therefore this is the reason why it is called as nerve cells. Why it is called nerve cells? Because it provides the nourishment and attachment of the sperms. Okay, it provides the attachment to the sperms. Now here there are interstitial cells also. Okay, there are interstitial cells. Okay, interstitial tissue. Okay, in interstitial tissue there is a small group of large polygonal cells. Okay, there is a small group of large polygonal cell. Small group of large polygonal cell which is present between the between the two adjacent seminiferous tubule. Okay, so these are called Leydig cells. Okay, what are these called? These are called Leydig cells or interstitial cells also. Why? Because they are present in the interstitial connective tissue. Okay, Leydig cells. What is the function of this Leydig cell? It produces the male sex hormone. Okay, it produces the male sex hormone. Okay, it is done. Now we have seen this, that the sperms are produced here. The sperms will be produced in the seminiferous tubules. Okay, through the which cell will provide which cell will help in the production of the sperms? The germ cells, the cuboidal cells. Okay, so through the cuboidal cells sperms will be produced. The sperms are passed to the reticestis. The reticestis will pass it to the vas efferens, and this vas efferens will further pass it to the epididymis, and through epididymis, through contractions and the propulsions, okay, it will be passed to the vas deferens. Now let's talk about the glands, and let's figure out that how it is secreted, how this sperm passes to each and every structure. Okay, now this is the last one. Let's see what happens now. Okay, now let's see, this is the scrotal sac. Okay, two scrotal sac. See, normally the scrotal sac is not at all parted. Okay, I have spaced it so that the view would be cleared for us. Okay, scrotal sac. This is our respective testis. Okay, now this testis, it has corpus albuginea, corpus vaginalis. Okay, we remember that. Now there is an epididymis. We have seen now. There is an epididymis. Okay, let me color it. Okay, now this epididymis, through this arises a duct called vas efferens. Okay, now this vas efferens here, I'm very sorry, vas deferens. From here arises the vas deferens. Now this vas deferens, which is again, it is formed of a pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Okay, and it goes above, it ascends into the abdominal cavity with the help of the inguinal canal, and here is the urinary bladder. And what happens, that this vas deferens, it ascends into the abdominal cavity, loops through the urinary bladder. Okay, it loops over the urinary bladder and meets the urethra from both these sides. Okay, just before it meets the urethra, a bit before, there is a spindle-like swelling known as ampulla. Okay, there is spindle-like swelling known as ampulla. Okay, and in this swelling opens a tube which is known as swelling opens a tube which is known as seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicle. Okay. Now, what happens that from epididymis arises the vas deferens. The vas deferens ascends into the abdominal cavity. Okay, ascends into the abdomen, and from abdominal cavity it loops over the urinary bladder, and joins the urethra. Okay, see, before vas deferens joined the urethra, it was only urethra. It was called urethra. After it has joined the urethra, the vas deferens, now this long duct will be called as urinogenital canal. Why? Just name suggests urinogenital. Why? Because urination as well as the semen, sperms, both will be conducted by the same passage, hence it is known as urinogenital canal. Now this area, okay, this particular area, okay, here from the ampulla to the urethra is known as ejaculatory duct. Okay, it is known as ejaculatory duct. Now this urinogenital canal, okay, this is covered by a muscular structure. Okay, this is covered by a muscular structure which is the copulatory organ called penis. Okay, which has a which is swollen at its base. Which is swollen at its base. Okay, so the swollen part is called glans penis, and there is a loose fold of skin. The swollen part is known as glans penis, and the loose fold of skin which covers the glans penis is known as foreskin or prepuce. What happens that this foreskin or prepuce, and this aperture is known as urethral orifice or aperture, and this aperture is slit like. Okay, now what happens here is that there is a Cowper's gland. The Cowper's gland is a donut shape, or we can say that it is lobulated. Okay, it is present just beneath the urinary bladder, here, over here. Okay, just beneath the urinary bladder. Okay, and that way I have drawn it. The urinary bladder. Okay, and at the base of the penis there is a pair of pea-sized Cowper's gland. Okay, produces mucus. Cowper's gland. Okay, Cowper's gland. This is prostate gland. Okay. Okay, now this is prostate gland. Now what happens here is that, see, seminal vesicle. This seminal vesicle contributes to the 60% of the seminal plasma. Okay, and whereas the prostate gland, it contributes to the 30% of the seminal plasma, and here is the and what happens that the secretion of this male reproductive system is alkaline, always alkaline in nature. Okay, why? To neutralize the acidity of the vaginal fluid. Okay, it consists of its secretion contains calcium. Okay, calcium, fructose and prostaglandin. Okay, it contains Cowper's gland. Its secretion consists of mucus. Okay, prostaglandin, its secretion consists of bicarbonate, lipids, citric acid, and enzymes. Okay. Now, what is the function? Now, see, in seminal vesicle, because fructose is produced, the source of energy, it serves as a source of energy for the sperms. Prostaglandin, what this does, this helps in the vaginal contraction. Okay, vaginal contraction. Okay, it helps in the vaginal contraction so that the sperms are easily